Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the problems that are associated with your ego, how your ego can self sabotage your manifestation. So, before we go any further, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell button and look at these links up here, neo.thunderwizard.com and courses.thunderwizard.com. This is the Manifestation Mastery Course series, and this is video 14A. There are A videos and B videos. So let's get right into it. So we're going to be talking about how your ego sabotages your success, sabotages specifically your ability to manifest. So manifestation, if you're not familiar with what I teach about manifestation, there are three minds that we have. We have the conscious mind, we have the subconscious, and the unconscious mind. Most of the time when people use the word subconscious, I mean almost virtually 100% of the time, they mean unconscious mind. That's different from the subconscious. The subconscious is in between the conscious and the unconscious, and in terms of manifestation, it is like a lens, and you place like a slide projector, you place a slide behind the projector in front of the light, and it projects that image onto a screen. That screen is the world, the life force energy that creates your existence. Your unconscious mind beneath that is actually responsible for the continuous shining out of your intention. So things like conscious affirmations really do nothing if your conscious mind and your unconscious mind are on two different levels. And you don't have any control over your unconscious mind. You're not aware of it. You've been programmed from birth to believe certain things. You've made choices based on your life experience to believe certain things. For instance, if you believe that being poor is spiritual and people who have money are unspiritual and bad, you can consciously tell yourself for your entire life, I want to be rich, I want to be rich. And you can put that slide into your you can put that slide image into your subconscious projector for however long you can consciously hold on to that idea. But the moment you let go of that consciously, your unconscious mind will then put its belief, money is bad, whatever it is. And so even if you're able to spend 4 hours a day thinking clearly about having millions of dollars, the moment that you stop, if your unconscious mind is in disagreement with that, it's going to go up and it's going to put out that money is bad. And you'll end up constantly going, why can't I make money? Okay, so that's how this works. So I want you to understand before we go any further how this works. Now, you have an ego, right? You hear that word all the time. Ego comes from the Latin meaning I. You know, if you want to say I am in Latin, you say ego sum. Ego sum, I am. Ego is the identity. Now, we have negative connotations to the word ego because we say somebody's egotistical or they're an egomaniac or that guy's ego is blown way out of proportion. He has a huge ego. But that's really not an accurate portrayal of what the ego is. You either have a solid, comfortable, empowered ego or you don't. And you will be somewhere on a scale, we always are. And you know, if you're smack dab in the center, you're fully comfortable within yourself, nobody can take advantage of you, and at the same time you have no need to lord yourself or prove yourself to other people. You're just comfortable in your own skin. Now, if you're not in that sweet spot for the ego, then you're either puffing yourself up and pretending to be bigger than you are, having to prove yourself. You know, we call this a narcissist. Narcissists, at the same time, you'll notice that the moment that a narcissist is caught in a lie or caught in something, they turn into the biggest victim in the world. And they say, I'm being targeted. It's a witch hunt. Everybody's after me. Right? So you're either puffing yourself up or you are on the other side false humility, pretending to be super humble. And in fact, there are people, the people who talk about how much they're into love and humility and all that, and they go around talking about how much they are, I'm a humble person, or they want to give off this idea that they're humble. That's actually somebody who's insecure as well, and they bounce back and forth between being really important and really small. But right smack dab in the middle, that's where you want to be. Now, I struggle with this. I'm as human as anybody else. That's one thing that I really make clear with my students, is that I am just sharing the techniques that I've learned in my life that help me, and I'm just as human as you. So I am not in any way talking from some mountaintop. But what I am here to tell you is that the techniques that I have discovered and have been taught to me, that I've practiced in my life, that I've proven through my, just using these techniques, have proven to me without a doubt that there is a way to be a successful manifester. And my students are also telling me the same thing. Everybody who follows my directions to the letter, and again, it's not about me, it's just, hey, these are the techniques that work. If you want what I have, you got to do this. That's all I know. My students who follow these techniques to the letter, they've been telling me that they are having tremendous results as well. So the ego is a big stumbling block, and it will destroy your ability to manifest if it's not in alignment, in that sweet spot. So what ends up happening is that we have to find, again, I'll use the term sweet spot when it comes to learning how to flow with life force energy. So bear in mind that your universe, the universe at large, but your universe as well, is created from life force energy. Everything, whether it's the air, the air molecules in front of you, or whether it's my glasses, or whether it's your physical body, ideas. Your external universe is a weaving of life force energy that is the result of intention. Intention creates reality. Science has told us this, that light will act as either a particle or a wave depending on the intention of the observer. I won't get into all of that, but just trust me, that's physics. That's a scientific proven principle. And it happens to be true on a spiritual level as well. Your external life force energy field surrounding you, which is your immediate environment, is the product of your continued intention. So that's why it's not enough just to say to yourself for 2 hours a day, I'm going to be rich, life is good, because you are continuously, every single nanosecond, you are sending out these commands through your subconscious mind from your unconscious. Your unconscious, it doesn't sleep. Your unconscious is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, continuously churning out this loop of a movie, which is your reality all the time. So it's not enough just to sit on the edge of your bed and say, I want to be rich for 10 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. If you can do it for 10 hours a day, it's still not enough, because the rest of those 14 hours, your unconscious mind continuously spewing out whatever's in there. So what I have learned is that in order to change the unconscious mind, it is not enough to have positive feelings and positive intentions. I'm sorry, but it's just not enough. What you need is consistent actions. And it is helpful to understand what your unconscious mind believes. If you're, let's say, I gave you the previous example, if you are consciously aware that you have been programmed to believe that money is evil or bad or you don't deserve it, that knowledge is good knowledge. Because then you know every time that you take action towards what you want, you know that your unconscious programming, which of course you can't control, is going to stand up and say no, and it will get in the way of your manifestation every time. That's a good thing to know, because then you start to catalog What are the actions that you can take which are directly opposite to what your unconscious mind wants to tell you? Now, you have been told some incomplete information about the law of attraction and the law of manifestation. You are told that if you sit on the edge of your bed and think happy thoughts, that will attract it to you. But that's not true. Remember, we live in a universe that is made up of life force energy. This life force energy is conscious, and it responds. It does respond to feelings, it does respond to intentions, but it responds far more powerfully to your actions. Why is that? Because just because you sit on the edge of your bed and think about what you want, that doesn't prove you really want it. Let me say that again. Just because you sit on the edge of your bed and think about what it is that you want and muster up feelings about what it is that you want, that doesn't prove that you really want it. What proves that you really want it is if you go after it. And the universe, this life force energy matrix that surrounds you, which is conscious and responds to your actions, is waiting to be proven that your intention is, in fact, connected to your thoughts and your feelings. This is why thoughts and feelings are extremely helpful for people who are well-adjusted. Well-adjusted people who are brought up in happy homes, whose parents rewarded them for taking risks, and who told them, all the kinds of things that a lot of us didn't get taught when we were kids. Those people understand this intuitively, and they sit on the edge of their bed and they say, money is good and I'm going to become a millionaire. Then they come out of their meditation, and what's the first thing they do? They go, okay, so now what can I do to make this happen? And then they go out and do it. So they would say, yeah, I was sitting there and I was so motivated and these positive feelings, and it really is true. If you think positively, you'll have that in your life. But what they don't realize is that they intuitively take action. A lot of us sit on our ass on the side of our bed, hoping that our positive feelings will make it happen. Why? Because we're too afraid to take the action. We're too afraid. And so what we want to do is to be able to have our feelings motivate us to take action. That's what they're good for. The good news is that if you have been programmed negatively, then even though you have all kinds of fears and negativity surrounding your actions, those feelings don't have to stop you. Because remember, the universe, this is the good news. Remember, this is the good news. The universe is far more interested in your actions than in your feelings. And so if you're able to take action regardless of how you feel, the universe goes, I can see that this person is conflicted and in fear, but they're obviously very committed because they keep taking this action to go get that thing. They keep applying for that job. They keep going and applying for that apartment. They keep putting out videos every day and whatever it is that they do. I'm doing it right now. This action that I'm taking right now is directly connected to me wanting to be successful on YouTube. And that's only going to happen if I put videos out. All right, which gets us to the next thing. Now, one of the biggest blocks that people have to taking action is they don't feel confident in themselves. I was just yesterday talking with one of my apprentices, and listen, this is very common. There's nothing unusual, in case you're listening. I'm not just talking about you. Across the board, including myself, people who struggle to manifest have fears. And so it is normal for us to want to feel like, I want to wait until I feel confident enough. I want to wait to feel until I know what I'm talking about before I go and teach. I want to wait until I know that I'm very good at what I'm doing before I go and start teaching a class or start a business. You'll never get anywhere that way. Why? Because your ego is going to tell you it's not good enough. Because in order to flow with the universe, getting back to the sweet spot, in order to flow with the universe, just like light in that experiment, light flows. In order to flow with the universe, we have to be in that sweet spot where we, on the one hand, are surrendered to the power of the Spirit, and at the same time, when we surrender to it, it surrenders to us. And so there's this weird thing where we're not controlling anything, and yet at the same time, we have complete control over what's happening. Why is that? Because when you are in a surrendered mode, you're not going to impose something that's going to be out of alignment with the flow. So that flow of energy will respond to you because you're not asking it to do something that it doesn't want to do. And then you find that your will and the will of the universe ends up being the same thing. And when you're in that sweet spot, then you can magically manifest whatever you want. And the interesting part is you're only going to want things that are going to be beneficial to you spiritually. And let me be clear about that again, if you're new to the channel. Your one commandment from the universe is to follow that which brings you the greatest joy. If it doesn't bring you joy, your soul doesn't want to do it, and your soul won't co-sign it. That means that what you've been taught, that God's will, you have to sacrifice yourself for God's will. You have to go and spend 10 years preaching to the whatever in the third world countries and be miserable, and that will prove your love to God, and therefore God will bless you. That's a bunch of nonsense. If you want to call it God, you can. I call it the soul. Your soul has one commandment, which is go and give me joy. And when you do that, you automatically get aligned with, you don't have to worry about, am I intending the right thing or not? No, because you know when you're connected. If you're not clear about what gives you the greatest joy and what your soul desire is, go up here to these links, neo.thunderwizard.com, and take a look at that first link. So let me go through those very quickly. Neo.thunderwizard.com, I'm saying, is the foundation to make the most out of this channel. This is a free channel. There's over 400 videos on it with meditations, mantras, rituals, techniques, qigong, energy work, runes, kundalini. There's all kinds of stuff here. Feel free to take as much as you want if you want free information. I am saying that there is a 4-step path which will give you a good foundation to make the most of everything that I have. That is, number one, you need to know what your destination is. Your destination is what I call your career. Your career is not necessarily what you do for a living, although it probably is. Your career is that you follow your greatest joy, which your soul, which is God, your soul commands you to follow your joy. You follow that. The universe rewards you by paying you money to be your authentic self. That way you don't have to work to make a living. That way it's not about what kind of job do I need to get. No, it's about what do I need to do to make myself happy. You do that in alignment with your soul, and the universe throws money at you. I swear to you. That's what your career is. Your career is to have the universe pay you to be your authentic self. It's the simplest thing that there is to do. Second thing is you need life force energy, which is your vehicle, which takes you to your destination. And that I teach either on the free channel, and I teach it in what I believe to be the most powerful energy practice I've ever come across, which is Celestial Qigong. That's the second one. You'll find that at neo.thunderwizard.com. The third one is you have to know the rules of the road. You got your destination, you got your vehicle. Now you need to know how to navigate. That is the 5 rules to master the matrix. I've already shared with you some of it, which is that the universe, the life force matrix around you, responds to your actions, not your feelings. Okay? And then the fourth one is we need to have a community, and that you can find at thunderwizard.com at the Manifestation Mastery course. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share with you a very simple, powerful technique that will short circuit your ego. When your ego gets in the way and either tells you you're not good enough or tells you, why the hell can't things go my way, and you try and force your will onto the universe, those are the 2 extremes of not being aligned in that sweet spot where you're just comfortable in yourself, flowing with the light of the soul, flowing with the light of the universe. That, when you're out of alignment with that, you're either on some sliding scale of thinking that you're the greatest thing in the world or that you're the biggest failure. In fact, there's a phrase, when your ego's out of whack, you're the most important piece of crap in the room. Right? Victims do that. You hear victims talk about themselves all the time. They think that, all the demons and all are out to them. And I think, well, if you're so, what makes you so important that all of the demons are coming after you? It's paranoid schizophrenia. We have a form of that called the victim mentality. Anyways, so I'm going to share with you the very simple secret how to short circuit your ego block to manifestation in the B video. This is the A video, and this is 14A. And to see the B video, go to thunderwizard.com and subscribe to the Manifestation Mastery series. And I will have the B video on there, which will tell you exactly the simple technique that you can employ right now, this very second, in order to short circuit your ego, which will then open the door for the flow of your energy to go out and propel you forward in your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions to create your perfect life. Okay? I'll see you over there. Go to thunderwizard.com and click on Manifestation Mastery Course.